the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have no delegation at this time, so that'll take us into reports, and we have the financial analysis report. Ginger.
Sounds serious.
That does.
It's actually good news.
Yeah, I'm handing them out right now.
So way back when the Department of Education and Office of School Finance developed their process for putting counties on a watch list, it wasn't as serious as they had to take them over, but they really wanted to watch everything they did closely, particularly financial decisions. They developed this financial analysis, and since they were doing it for the watch counties, there were a lot of us that were like, hey, if you already are compiling information, could you just do it for all of us? Because it is really helpful information. So they have started doing that. They give it to us at our summer conference, which I attended back earlier in July. And I'll just go through it quickly with you. You can take time and read any that you want and ask me questions. But so they go through the fund balances. Of course, as we know, that can kind of trend up or down depending on the circumstances financially over the year. But they do keep watch on that because it is an indicator if your savings account is growing or if it's dwindling. And then they start, asking more questions about where that money is being spent. So then, of course, it's just a graphic of what those unrestricted fund balances are. The section in the middle is related to the excess levy. There's 10 counties maybe now that don't have an excess levy. So this just keeps track of, if you do have it, what percentages that you are at relating to maximum and how much money you bring in each year in that excess levy. Then we have per pupil expenditures, and just pretty self-explanatory. It goes through and it shows how much is spent based on the number of students enrolled. So you'll see these increase a little bit each year if your enrollment is dropping, but you still have to spend about the same money on staff, your per pupil goes up. Which is not a bad thing unless it just gets completely out of whack, and then, maybe we're doing something a little bit weird. So then we have all the various revenue sources. I believe that most of that increase there was, it looks like maybe more of the state grants. And a lot of that's timing. It's not necessarily we got more money from the state. It just could mean that we got it in a different time period, and therefore it shows up differently on the report. Next page, I think, is kind of the most important. This is where it talks about the number of people over formula in the different areas. This is what gets counties in trouble quicker than anything else, and it sneaks up on them because they're thinking, okay, well, we don't really want to risk these 3 people this year. We're just going to go ahead and keep them and then figure it out next year. Well, the next year rolls around. Well, we really don't want to get rid of the next 3 people. So then you have 6 floating around that are above formula, and then you're kind of in trouble because cutting 6 is a lot harder than cutting 3. So as you can see, we're actually staying pretty close overall. We are over in professionals and under in service. So, like I said, roughly we're pretty close, but we would really like to see those numbers even out even more. Because, of course, your professionals cost more than your service personnel do. Again, the things at the bottom are just graphics of all that I just said. See, this is good too. The counties weren't realizing how much those people were actually costing them. Because when they aren't part of the formula, we pay for everything. We pay for their retirement, we pay for their PEIA, everything that relates to that employee, we pay here instead of, part of it being paid by the state. So I was glad when they added this section on that actually has the numbers, the dollars and cents to it, because I feel like that's really easy to understand. How much it costs versus how much we save. So overall, it costs us about $188,000 to carry those overages. I think you guys have done enrollment data before, but that's the last section there on the bottom. Just kind of tells you the trending and how it relates to state averages. If that trend continues, that's not a good way to go with enrollment, but hopefully it'll even out. As you've seen, like losing 9 back in 23 was, not bad compared to now, or even last year. Anybody have questions right now? If this was just more for your information, I thought it was really useful and good for you to see it.
Any questions for Ginger? Brett, you got something?
No.
Okay, all righty, hearing none, that'll move us out of reports. Thank you, Ginger.
You're welcome.
All right, so that'll move us to the consent agenda, and we'll start with the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 14th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 14, 2025. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we're to bills for payment. Ginger.
Okay, we are still giving you bills that relate to 2025 as well as new items that have happened since 2026. You can tell the difference under, it says bill list for board approval and it has each year. So if that's important to know which year it was in, you can tell that. Most of our cleanup stuff from 25 were just things that were received really late in the year or they just got here like last week and then we're, processing them for payment. I don't really have anything else that jumps out unless anyone has questions.
I have a question on one. The Gilmer County Mon Power account.
Okay, which batch? It says batch ID and has 3 initials.
3 initials.
It's the second column.
Okay, I'm trying to, 001.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, 001.
okay, just 1 second. Sorry, yeah, I forgot some of them are numbered instead of initials. Let me just look at what you're looking at. Okay, Mon Power.
Right, for the high school account, 110-088-887-572.
Uh-huh.
The amount, did they not bill us?
I have to go back and look at that, honestly. I don't have those in front of me. I was just looking at the same thing you are.
Okay,
I can certainly check into that and email you.
I just, that one just kind of, the amount just kind of jumped out.
Yeah, that does seem a little high, but I'd have to be comparing it to the others to tell you for sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion to approve the bills for payment.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bills for payment. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, Ginger, on to the cash report for June 2025.
Okay, so this is our normal monthly report. It was a little lighter than normal because closing out June is difficult at best. So that's how much money is in the bank right now. Well, the 2 banks actually, and then you have the third one listed below it. That's the money we have in that account at Truist. Any questions?
Any questions there?
Nope, looking good.
All right. We don't need to approve that or do
I don't
anything.
think so. It's
Okay.
just a report.
All righty, so that'll move us into new business, and we'll start with approval of out-of-state field trip for FFA to stay in Virginia during the West Virginia State Fair. Dr. Minnie.
This is just approval, the West Virginia State Fair, we've done this several times in the past, but they can't get located in West Virginia. So they go right across the border there to Virginia.
Make a motion to approve the out-of-state field trip request for the Gilmer County FFA.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the out-of-state field trip request for the Gilmer County FFA. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. Approval of MOU with Calhoun Gilmer Career Center for embedded credit. Dr. Minnie.
This is a MOU we do every year that allows them to offer credits that we honor that are embedded, such as math and ELA. And we've done this MOU for several years. It's just a memorandum of understanding that we're going to accept those credits offered there at the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center.
Make a motion to approve the MOU with Calhoun Gilmer Career Center as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the MOU with the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. Approval of agreement with Minnie Hamilton Health System. Dr. Minnie.
MOU that we've had in place in the past, and we wanted to get it updated, and we've got some changes moving around for Minnie Hamilton. We want to put those folks at the entry of the building. So we had a meeting to update an MOU, and it just basically states that they would serve us a minimum of 18 hours of service, be provided by a licensed physician, certified nurse practitioner. They will also try to make behavioral and mental health services available to our students. It just outlines the services that we have in place and the way that we interact with each other in the upcoming year. Do you guys have any questions about it or anything?
Questions?
A
A
week.
minimum of 18 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had to read that. That's what I was reading about too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was looking and reading. I'm sorry, Myra, I missed you.
Make a motion to approve the agreement with Minnie Hamilton Health Systems as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
You be the man.
Second.
Okay. All right. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the agreement with Minnie Hamilton Health System as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? I just want to say I want to thank Dr. Minnie for getting that done. That's one thing that hadn't been updated in a little bit that I always thought maybe we needed some attention, and I'm glad to see that it's getting handled. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. Approval of bid for weight room. Dr. Minnie.
So the ad hoc committee working with the Bolt, we've worked over the past year trying to put together a plan to get a new weight facility, health and wellness facility for our students, for all students at Gilmer County schools to take part in. And we've tried to raise some funds and come up a little short on the Bolt. But in the meantime, we've decided that we would like to buy the equipment, get the equipment put in place here so our students would not have a downtime if we go to build the Bolt or tear out a building or so on and so forth. So we put this out to bid, put it in our local newspaper, and tried to, there's not very many companies that do this around West Virginia. We put it out to bid. We received a bid, one bid from BSN Sports. It was for the purchase of the weight equipment, delivery and unloading of the weight equipment, and the full installation of the equipment, putting together the equipment. The plan would be to do this out in the old preschool room that is here at the board office for the time being, and allow the students to go ahead and start working out and developing that room into a full health and wellness center as a backup here while we look at the Bolt and the funding and how long that would take to get all of those things torn out and the new one built. The total project bid amount came in with our bidder at $107,131. And that was a little bit less than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be more than that with the actual installation, delivery, and things in the project. On the executive content there, I posted what some of the actual equipment would look like. This company was able to do some mock-ups of the equipment, and it seems to be very high quality equipment that will be delivered to us there and set up as a part of this bid. So the actual bid, what we call the form of proposal in a bid like this is included in that packet. And you can see the scope of the work is the order, purchase of all the specified weight equipment, the delivery, the unloading, the installation. They have to carry it into the building, install it. They need to put it together and make it functional for our students, and so on and so forth. And then there's a list of the equipment that we plan to get, which would include, full weightlifting racks and flat incline benches and lat pull down machines and all the things that we've worked with our athletic department on what they thought the students would utilize. Of course, this would be located in the back end of this building for now, and students would have access to be able to come in and out with a weightlifting coach that we have hired. And all students, whether they were in, athletics or not, can take part in. And we have several students that don't play sports that go down and lift weights currently. So the installation completion time frame would be 10 weeks. They said it would take about 8-week lead time to even get the company even get the stuff and get it up here. So we gave about 10 weeks. The total purchase of equipment's $90,000. The total cost of delivery is $9,327. Total cost of installation is $7,500 for a grand total completed, hopefully in a 10-week time period, for $107,131. And we're hoping that we can get this and authorize where I can execute a contract where I can actually put the initiation date, and then they would have 90 days to complete after that initiation date.
Are
You got any
we
questions?
moving all the stuff from the weight room at the high school to here so it'll all be in one place?
The stuff that we're going to reuse. Some of that stuff is so outdated and dangerous, we really shouldn't be using it.
Yeah,
It doesn't have any, it's in a sense old fashioned.
there's a couple.
Safety catches or keep kids from smashing themselves.
There's a couple, the free weights and things like that. We plan to do some of those, kettlebells, things like that. But a lot of the two racks in there that we have that the kids actually utilize to lift on are a lot similar to these racks. We'll have to take a look at that. We don't plan to move those racks as a part of this. We would plan to utilize these racks instead. Those were, I think, donated at one point in time by GSU. And they're getting pretty
all
old.
the workout facilities will be in one place. There won't be anybody.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is that way, because we have one instructor, I guess, so
Mhm.
that way it'll all be supervised.
Yeah.
The idea is to get it out of there. So
You have to have supervision. You can't have kids in there
Right.
alone. That's equipment. This equipment's, it's got the highest safety rating. It's got the highest warranty. There were certain specifications that we put in the bid that made a criteria that it had to have a warranty. It had to meet all the safety regulations and things like that.
Is there any weight equipment at Brooklyn Field right now? Just
Maybe a rack or something, not very
Okay.
much.
There's nothing down there that belongs to us.
okay.
If it is, it belongs to the coaches.
And this came in a little under budget from what you had.
Yeah, I thought the 90, I thought it would be probably closer to 120,000 for the weight equipment. I think it came in at about 90. But the delivery and the installation and things, when you add all that stuff.
Is this from funds we've fundraised?
No, we budgeted this in the budget for this upcoming year. We budgeted this as a part of our regular budget.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the submitted bid from BSN Sports in the amount of $107,131 and authorize the superintendent to execute the contract and initiate the 90-day project timeline.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bid submitted by BSN Sports in the amount of $107,131 and authorize the superintendent to execute the contract, initiating the 90-day project timeline. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
Let's go.
All righty. Now, next on the agenda, LSIC meeting dates for Gilmer County High and Gilmer County Elementary. Dr. Manning.
We just wanted to basically put this on here for discussion. We got February board meeting dates are February 10th and 23rd, and March board meeting dates are March 9th and 23rd. And we kind of got late in the game last year, and then we were kind of moving around when things were happening. We had RIF and transfer and things like that. So we would like to, discuss a few days. There's nothing here that needs voted on, but discuss a few days here, maybe in February or March, that we would like to be able to travel out to the schools and have our LSIC meetings. So I don't know, if you guys would like to see, the February 10th and the March 9th, or the February 10th and the March 23rd, but we need to be able to pick a couple dates there, and then we'll let the high school and elementary school fight which one wants to go first and go out to those.
Doesn't matter to me.
Those are already meetings that we have planned. So I can just schedule those in a way with those folks that are easiest, or I could do them all in February, or however you want them.
So let them,
Whatever.
What's the
yeah,
favor of the board?
I care.
That all works for me.
yeah, I say let them.
Okay. Let them choose and you tell us.
Okay.
That's actually what we're getting that week.
We'll let them choose them.
Okay, so that'll take care of that. All right, we'll move to discussion or possible action of payroll adjustments for PEIA premiums. Dr. Minnie.
Okay, so PEI premiums went up, and this has kind of been at the forefront. We've had a few people ask about it. And basically what this does is a proposal to recommend modifying the current payroll deduction schedule. So right now in Gilmer County schools, you get all of your payroll deduction taken out of your first paycheck. This would modify that. It would have you split. It would have employees split and get half of it taken out the first paycheck in the month, and half of it taken out the second paycheck of the month. And it's probably the right time to do it if you're going to do it, because PEIA, some of the premiums went up dramatically. Some people's premiums went up
14%.
it's a dramatic deduction on the one paycheck. So, people living paycheck to paycheck might find that they have $300 less a month to live off of that one paycheck. So I thought about this, and we run it by the Colts, and there's some considerations. Splitting the deduction, it eases the financial strain on people on both paychecks. But there could be some challenges that I wanted to make sure that we're talking about. If somebody has set up their automatic payments to come out at the end of the month when they thought their big check is coming, we need to give them time, if we make this change, to reorganize those payments. And we really don't know how many people that might affect. It might affect zero, and it might not affect but a handful. So it is an all or nothing. We either have all of it deducted from the one check, or we split. And we need to make a consideration on what we think is best. So my recommendation would be to table this item and us put out an email to staff and say, hey, this is what it is, because not everybody knows what this is, a payroll deduction, and how it might impact them. But in order to give them some time to really see, okay, this is going to affect me, to see how many people that's going to affect. And then if you guys want to take action, at least that would give them time. They're getting the same amount of pay, but it would give them time to reorganize their payment schedules so they can, not default on their bank account, or if they were living tight paycheck to paycheck. Ginger had some averages. She shared with me, what was the average for the first page?
So we have several employees that only carry life insurance. This would also affect that. But total average across the whole system, they're spending about $305 per check or per month in insurance. So that includes the top up budget, which is over $1,000 for 1 month of EIA, and the lowest, which is $1, which is some version of optional life. So it averages about $305, and that would make it about $152 per pay as opposed to the $305 coming out. So like the highest one is $1,114.40. Rather than that being on one paycheck, it would be divided by 2, and that would make it $557.20 per pay.
That's not good. When you get an extra $1,000 taken out of your check,
I mean, this whole page is over $500. Like that bottom, well, right at it, that bottom number is $447.90. So that, all of that is over $500.
I'd just like to say, I hate insurance companies.
But you don't mind them cashing their checks.
Yeah, 3 months later and about 50% less.
Yeah.
And the problem being too, it's not going to go down next time.
Wow.
It'll,
so that's why we talked about doing something to alleviate, instead of having that $1,000 coming out of some of those earners' paycheck, it would be split. And at least it's not coming out of one.
I think it's also, I actually brought this up to Tony a time or two, and it's either got to be one way or the other way. We can't have half the people do one way and half the people do the other way. So
I make a motion to postpone this item until the next meeting. In the interim, a staff survey should be distributed to gather employee input on the proposed change. The results of the survey will help guide our decision and ensure that the action we take reflects the preferences and needs of our workforce.
second,
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded to postpone this item until the next meeting. In the interim, a staff survey will be distributed to gather employee input on the proposed change. The results of the survey will help guide the board's decision and ensure that any action taken reflects the preferences and needs of our employees. Is there any further amendments or discussion on the main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, that'll move us to old business, and we have approval to place policy 5505, academic honesty, on review. Dr. Minnie.
All right, I'm trying to get the policy up there. So we went back and worked with our principals and our central office leadership and really dug into the policy, had some discussion about academic honesty and what that looks like and why we must have one of these policies. We still have the good old-fashioned forgery, plagiarism, copying another person's work. All those things are still going to take place. And that's in this policy. The piece of the policy I think that threw everybody for the loop is the AI piece. So we had the discussions about what that looks like for us, and we came up with some pretty good ways that I think we can alleviate the board's concern about the concerns they had when we first presented the policy. So without talking about plagiarism, forgery, copying another person's work, and so on, we're going to talk just about the AI piece. One thing that we discussed was we want to promote AI, like it has to be used. It's on every student's computer. It's on every student's email with Copilot. Like they're going to be exposed to AI. We stated that we have to provide guidance to teachers. The teachers have to make the decision whether a grade is going to utilize AI or doesn't, and they need to inform the student that so they know whether or not they can use it or not. We also have to be realistic that if you send anything home for a grade, AI is going to be utilized. So if you really want to know what your students can write, what your students can develop, what projects that they can work on, because AI is not just, spitting out typed documents. It can spit out PowerPoints, and it can do all sorts of different things, graphic design, all sorts of different things. So we really we want to focus on training our teachers on which of those kind of grades that they need to not utilize AI. As the impact that our students use AI in the classroom, they're going to be using it every day. So the next part is, what do we do if we find a student that uses AI? And this, I think this was your guys' question. What kind of checker or so on and so forth do we have that if we catch somebody and we get that paper and it looks like, little Tony looks like he just wrote with a Lexile level of 1700 and they know he doesn't have a Lexile level of 1700. What do we do? And we chewed on that for a little bit, and we kind of went back through our process that all of our assignments will be completed. We've got one-to-one technology. All of them will be completed on our laptops. And if they complete those assignments on our laptops, on our network, then our teachers, principals, tech people, everybody has access to see through AB Tutor and a program called Senso what site, whether it's they use Chat GPT or Copilot, they can literally pull up everything that the students are using in their class. If those students are out there setting, they can pull up the websites and the search history of what those students are doing right there in front of them. So our AI doesn't have to run through a AI screener. They can screen that in the classroom while they're watching the assignment be completed. They can see if Brett is utilizing Copilot on a assignment that they just gave out that says you can't use AI. And if that situation occurs, they would call, Brett up and say, hey, either stop or this is going to become discipline. If they turn it in and they look and they go back in the search history and everything that's been typed is typed using Copilot. So we have a way that doesn't rely on AI to fact check what our students are submitting. And that is through their internet searches. We can see every internet search, every website that they're on. We can also block certain websites. Teacher can go in there and say, well, they're not using Chat GPT in this, so it's blocked. So that's how we plan to utilize how we're going to fairly identify students using it or not using it on assignments that they're not supposed to. The second piece of that comes from the appeal process, and that is they turn in the assignment, they haven't used it to cheat, and then there's an appeal process, and that appeal process would go to the principal, and the principal would utilize the tools, and if they can't find it and the appeal comes to here, and then my office will utilize digging back with the tech team into their search history to see whether or not they utilized AI on that assignment or not. And then that decision would be final then after our tech team dives into those individual cases and says, no, that student didn't use it, or yes, that student did use it. Then we'd go to our discipline matrix and our current policy, and that student would receive the discipline from that policy. Does that make sense?
I like it.
Questions?
No, I think,
Discussion.
I think the kids will show you how well it's going to work.
To be continued.
And, the teachers have to realize if assignment goes home, they're going to utilize AI.
I like that you understand that sometimes we also need to learn how to use it.
Yeah, we're going to use
we
it.
could have assignments that, you can utilize it.
Absolutely. We need to utilize it. It's actually a part of our Microsoft Office platform now. It is there.
You think boards in the past, like way back when the calculator came around, they're like, now, are we going to let them use this thing, or are we going to keep on our hands and fingers?
But it's there.
Yeah.
It's there, and the state actually provides it to us. So that is a part of our state package, and it works very well. So we've got to do some training with the teachers on how to create assignments and identify those assignments from the start, so everybody knows. And I think that they understand if you get on Copilot and make an agent, I mean, this person can be your assistant, and I think that they understand, the teachers understand just the capability of where it's going to. So with that being said, I recommend that the board approve placing policy 5505, academic honesty, on a 30-day public review period.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to place policy 5505, academic honesty, on a 30-day public review period. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Eh.
All right, my tongue wants the dental surgery. All right, any opposed? All right, hearing none, all right, we done did the motion carries. Lord, I'm done
We're
way,
done.
I'm way messed up. All right, so that'll take us to personnel, and at this time, I'd like to move, we go into executive session to discuss personnel, that if we discuss outside may affect the reputation of the employee. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and second to go to executive session. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Rise.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and second to rise from executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All righty, that'll move us to the personnel agenda, and we'll start with professionals. Dr. Minnie.
Recommendation for hire, Caroline Tennell, special education teacher, Gilmer County Elementary School. And then accept the resignation of Kelly Barr, resignation math teacher, 7th grade, Gilmer County High School, effective 7/16/25.
Make a motion to approve the professional portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the professional portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? All I have is I'd like to thank Kelly for all of her years of service and the math position at the high school. She's done a great job for us.
Same here.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, on to service.
Service recommendation for hire, Michael Francis, bus operator, Tanner, Glenville area, and Candace Knudsen, bus operator, Rosedale area.
Make a motion to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, on to extracurricular.
Extracurricular, recommendation, Johnny Eisenhart, substitute mechanic. Extracurricular, band camp instructor, Cody Dye. Extracurricular band camp instructor, William Burdett.
Make a motion to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, and on to permission to post.
Permission to post ALC classroom transportation aid.
I make a motion to approve the ALC, to postpone the ALC classroom transportation aid.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to postpone the posting of an ALC classroom transportation aid. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, on to the next one. Student support specialist, 2 positions. Dr. Manning.
Just getting permission to post 2 student support specialists for Gilmer County High School.
And those were formerly the interventionists.
Partial, the part of the job was what we had as the interventionists.
Make a motion that we post the student support specialist 2 positions.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to post the student support specialist for 2 positions. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. So that'll bring us to continuous improvement, and we have the accountability review. Dr. Minnie.
So the special education on-site monitoring, which is called the Office of Special Education, or OSE, has reviewed the final documentation submitted by Gilmer County Schools in accordance with the finding of noncompliance from the special education on-site monitoring conducted in November. Upon the review, the OSE determined that the documentation submitted verifies the correction of identified findings of noncompliance and issues in the January monitoring report. We, of course, shared that with you, and then this just outlines that we are, as far as our monitoring, we have met all of the categories that needed to, that were in question with our OSE monitoring. So that takes us to this sheet, and you guys have this posted, which is the IDEA Part B matrix. And there's indicators, and they give you amount of points that you earn with these indicators. Everything from participation rate in ELA to suspensions and expulsions and different things like that. And it looks really good. Our monitoring has came out to where we have they gave us the LEA determination, and you can see the determination with the IAD compliance matrix that we meets requirement. And you can see that the total points earned were 31.10, and the total possible points is 34.50. So that puts our percentage at 90.14. And that has constantly climbed over the last few years. If you guys remember, that was pretty low at a part of our LEA determination. And I think that's the highest one that we've had that we've got. And you can see the compliance percentage. There's 20 possible points, and we receive 20 points. So we had 100% as part of our compliance that we could take part in. So I feel really good that this is what the accountability scorecard is based off of, and this should put us in really good standing that we meet requirements and everything in special education. We had very good compliance percentage, and an overall percentage has improved over the last 3 or 4 years. It's made some solid improvements. So just wanted to give an update on that.
All right, and that'll lead us into the superintendent's update.
All right, I got to find that. Hold on one second. Oh, here it is. All right, first of all, I want to say thank you to Kelly Barr for all of her hard years of work here. We really appreciate her as a colleague and as a friend, and want to wish her all the best of luck and really appreciate her service. Update on the Spanish. We are continuing to try to find a Spanish teacher. We have a backup to go virtual plan, which would put a facilitator in the classroom, but we have actual reach out to the embassy, and we have a few more candidates in mind that we're going to try to figure out if they are a good fit for here, and hopefully have an answer by the 11th board meeting, on August 11th board meeting. Just to give you an update where we're at, tomorrow I meet with Dr. Manchin for the college to sign the facility usage agreement. And I just want to say thank you to you guys and him for such a great deal on this. It provides our students with a variety of educational opportunities, from science fair, social studies fair, graduation, our arts programs at the Fine Arts Center. Everything from swimming lessons to using the football field. It's a very good partnership, and a continued partnership with teacher education. And I want to highlight that we are one of very few counties that have 100%. It may be the only county that have 100% certified teachers in our areas because of our partnership with GSU. So I really appreciate that. We have Principals Academy coming up August 4th. We're going to be working through the finalized stages to try to get all the information out to parents. The school will be here soon, very soon. So just trying to finalize plans on that. We've worked on trying to finalize the plans with GSU for the ball field. We brought the weenie wagon up from the Career Center. We hope to get it all ready to serve our concessions out of and utilize the field and their turf there. But if you're a parent and you're listening, keep checking the Facebook pages that we're starting to put out information about orientations and all of the different activities that we have in order to start the year. That's all I got.
Any questions on the superintendent's update? All right, hearing none, we'll go to board member comments. Start with Mr. Chapman.
I'm gonna stay quiet today.
Okay, I will do the same. Dr. Mellon.
I'm excited for a new school year and even higher performance and test scores from our stellar crew, and looking forward to getting started again.
Mr. Freshour.
Much the same. Enjoy the last bit of summer and get ready for the next school year.
Mr. Burke.
I owe Dr. Minnie an apology. Last board meeting, I questioned about the parental conference after a suspension, and I had to do that for 25 years, and he says, don't have to do that anymore. So I go look, and he's absolutely correct. The only time that has to take place in today's world, you suspend a kid from class 2 times in a semester, you have to have one. You suspend him from the bus 2 times in a semester, you have to have one. But you can suspend him from school, and you don't have to have one. Now,
Makes perfect sense.
that makes no sense to me, but the legislature never did. But to him, I was questioning, so I owe him an apology.
Well, I was hoping that you didn't dig back and find that in code in 1975. Prove me wrong. I didn't think it was in there though.
It left. I don't know when it left, but it got up and.
Like many good things in this world, it's gone by the wayside.
Any further comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and second. We adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.